Oh, yeah. Here's a card trick you might enjoy. We take a deck of cards, and your job is going to be to pick one at random. But that's easy, so let me make it more difficult for me. And the way we do that is that we have to mix the cards, in this case, face up into face down. So if I take the cards and mix them face up and face down, well, now this is going to be way harder for me to find your card, which means that you need to pick a card. And in this case, it doesn't matter if you pick one of the cards that's face up or face down. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the cards like this, and I want you to call stop anytime it feels right to you. Preferably that would have been before the trick even started. So go ahead, call stop anytime it feels right. Right there, good eye, sir. Please remember your card, in this case, the Queen of Spades. I'm going to lose that card amongst the other ones. Again, it's the face down card going into a face up deck. So there's a bunch of face down cards. There's a bunch of cards in every single direction. So it's kind of a mess. But here's the thing. I could just fix this problem by doing this. Yeah. But you see what that does to the deck? You see now, every single card is facing the same direction. Every card is now fixed itself. Well, all apart from one card. No, you don't think. Yes, it is. It's the Queen of Spades. I'll tell you what, let's do something that doesn't really make much sense, which is change the entire deck from one to, you see it? It's a different deck, different color deck. Why? Because I don't have a life. Sorry if I had a little bit of an attitude during that video. I had to reshoot the entire thing. But that's okay, it's what I'm here for. This is a very simple color changing deck trick that all it does is involve one different color card and a normal deck of playing cards. Now, it does have quite a number of different moves that you need to perform, which you could learn. Now, of course, I implore you to check out the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,500, I believe 1,600 videos at this point, going over everything that you might need in order to become a better magician. Card stuff, coin stuff, it's all there. And also mentalism if you join the Mentalism Academy. It's how I make my living, so I highly suggest for you to check it out and, well, just make yourself better. That or check out my brand new projects with Peter Turner, Open Prediction, and Worlds Apart. You can find those linked below. A lot of great ideas for Out of This World as well as Open Prediction. You're definitely going to find something in there that you're going to use. Now the setup is very simple. You take your different colored card, you put it on top of this deck. This goes into a box that matches this card design, and you're good to go. Now, first thing I like to do is to shuffle the deck and subtly show the participant that, well, it's from this back design. Now, I'm not saying that overtly. I'm just shuffling the cards and letting that speak for itself. But the assumption is that this is a different card. Really, it's the same card. And the way we do this is with a shuffle that keeps this card in that position, which we press with our fingers. We're going to do an overhand shuffle, keeping that card in the bottom. And now I could shuffle the cards as much as I want, continue to do this, and when I turn the deck face down, they're still going to see this back design, which is a nice way of showing them that this is in fact a deck that all contains the same back. Now, you're not pointing that out to them because you're not retarded. I like to use the word retarded because it bothers you people. Now, at this point, you are going to have to secretly reverse this card. Now, there are a number of different ways of doing this. One is the mechanical reverse by Alan Ackerman. The other one is just simply doing a half pass with that card being on the bottom of the deck. Or you could just go, hey, what's over there? And do it that way. But either way, what we need to have is this card reversed with the deck face up on top, because we're going to perform a variation of a move called the Tenkai reversal. Now, typically the Tenkai reversal is done with a card that is face up on top of a face down deck. What this move looks like is that we've revolved, in this case, one half into the other, and we're mixing the cards face up into face down. However, what we're really doing is that we're mixing the face up cards into the face up cards. Now, the variation that we're going to do with this card is going to allow us to do the exact same thing, however, without secretly turning over the cards. And the way we do that is as follows. We're going to have a thumb break right here above this card in the bottom. We're going to swing cut half the cards over to our left hand. And now I'm going to bring this pile of cards. Remember, we have a thumb break here, and I'm just going to deposit this card on top of this lower left hand half. The next thing I'm going to do is revolve both my hands just like this and have this pile out jog towards the participant. Now, the movement that we're trying to replicate is as follows. However, we can't do that because we'd actually be shuffling the cards in this condition, which we can't do. So the way that this move lies is by doing the exact same thing. However, we're giving the illusion that we're about to mix these face-up cards into these face-down cards. Really, the cards are just going in the same direction, all apart from this one cover card. Now, when we push these two piles of cards together, we're just ensuring that this card stays on top. We square up the cards, and now we're going to get into a display. And the display is very simple. It's just cutting the cards and making it seem like, well, we have face-up cards and face-down cards. Now that Hindu shuffle is optional. It's a false optical shuffle. But an easier way of doing this is just simply swing cutting the cards, keeping a little break, and then doing a double undercut, cutting that card right back to the top. So to them, it seems like these are just random face-up cards, random face-down cards. Really, there's the same card all the while. And this is actually what we're going to use to force the cards, because we're going to tell the participant that in a moment they're going to call stop as we're cutting the cards, and we're just going to get to a random card. It doesn't matter if it's face-up or face-down, but you just want them to call stop somewhere randomly in the deck. Now, when you start to see their little disgusting lips start to move, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the cards below my break and cut them directly to the top. So it doesn't matter where they call stop. I'm just cutting small piles of cards to the top. When I see their lips start to move, I'm just going to cut all the cards below the break and cut them to the top, which is going to cut my card right back to where it started. I could then show them this card and now force this Queen of Spades on the participant. You could put that card right back on top of the deck as you do another false cut, showing the deck to be mixed face up, face down, every single direction. Cards are going in every single way. And all I've done there is just simply do the exact same thing as before, doing a double undercut. Their perception is that this is a different face down card. Really, it's the same exact one. Now, at any point in time, all you have to do is just cut the cards and do a magical move. And now you could show the deck to be all in the same direction. Well, all apart from one card and one card alone, which happens to be their card, the Queen of Spades. This is the first trick, and it's a great one. Let that moment marinate, but afterwards, you're going to do a nice little move that's a variation of John Gustafero's ballet cut. Now, his ballet cut is something that I recommend for you guys to look up on your own. It's a wonderful way of changing the deck color. In this case, it's also a beautiful false cut, but we're going to do a variation, I believe, by Paul Rossini or Paul Paul. I'm not sure. It's one of those Pauls. And the variation is as follows. We're going to lift up with our dirty, disgusting forefinger half the deck. We're going to swing cut them over and revolve them into our left hand. Then we're going to take the remaining cards and turn them face down on top of that pile. So essentially, that's a less fancy ballet cut. We're doing just this with the cards. And if you do this, it's going to seem like the deck has now changed color, of which we could spread the cards and show them that the deck has now transformed into a completely different deck. Of course, make sure not to spread all the way because you're going to prematurely show this card. Now, you are left dirty with this card here on the bottom of the deck, but you just easily get rid of it. You put the deck in your pocket, you go, I'll tell you what, I'll show you something else. You know what? No, I'm going to show you another card trick until you call the cops. And all I've done is I've just deposited that card in my pocket, and now I have a clean deck. Well, clean in the sense of not having any gimmicks on it, but the deck still has gonorrhea. And what you get is a nice color-changing deck. You get a nice color-changing deck. You get a triumph in there. It's a simplification of classic handlings. And you get to do that magician thing where all the cards change at the end for no reason. So I'm going to end this video by staring at you until you look away.